some other stories. The United Nations Development Programme is embarking on an economic impact initiative with the Denmark Embassy to address the concerns of radicalization in the 5 northern regions. The initiative targeted at the youth and women will provide some job opportunities to beneficiaries and help them earn some income in order to avoid extremism and movement of terrorists. Here is more.
The Economic Impact Initiative will ensure that high unemployment rate in the 5 regions of the north are addressed in order to control the flow of terrorists into the regions. According to the United Nations Development Programme, economic challenges linked to unemployment are identified as one of the issues driving extremism and other social vices. Country representative of the UNDP, Angela Lusigi, spoke to journalists after launching the initiative in Accra.
It's not only of spillovers that are coming from across the border, but also some of the socio-economic and other risk factors that they're experiencing. Unemployment, also exposure to local conflicts, and there's a host of issues that are making these communities vulnerable. So this project is very important because it's trying to address these localized drivers of radicalization. So for instance, working with the communities to see how we can strengthen the early warning system so they understand what terrorism is and they also understand how they can respond. But also it's looking at how we can address some of the messages that the communities are getting so that they're able to understand and come up with counter messages against radicalization. And here we're working very much with the young people, but also looking at the resilience. So we understand that economic issues are some of the localized drivers of radicalization. So working with youth and women entrepreneurs to try and identify opportunities where people can secure their livelihoods and make them less vulnerable to terrorism and extremism.
Danish Ambassador to Ghana, Tom Noring, justified the support his country and the European Union is giving to the initiative.
EU is very active. That most of the support, the financial support that the EU is giving in part of its 7-year plan for the first 3 years is actually directed at the north, whether it's to support agricultural programs, educational programs, infrastructure programs. Most of the EU funds are actually directed to the north for the same reason, to ensure that they're not falling behind. So things are happening. We also need to get that message across to the people in the north, to the young people especially, that there's hope at the end of the tunnel. Because right now, as we've seen, Ghana has been through a very, very difficult economic development the last year and a half. If you're from the poorest part and you're part of that and you're seeing that it's just going from bad to worse, you may find yourself almost lost. And we want to send a signal through this program, through other programs, that there is hope, there is a future, and you should not give up. You should not give up to radicalization.
This is one of the projects by the UNDP to secure livelihoods of the vulnerable.
Let's now touch on